A very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. It is once again my extreme pleasure, honor, delight, and joy to be with all of you for this Instagram live session. In fact, for the last 2 weeks, I was a little caught up and busy and wasn't able to come live and interact with all of you. So, my sincere apologies. But hopefully, in the coming weeks, we can continue our interaction on this Instagram community by meaningful discussions and conversations. In fact, I would like to express my heartfelt and sincere gratitude to each and every single one of you who join us for these live sessions and make our Instagram community vibrant, full of positivity, full of hope, full of inspiration. And I can't thank you enough for always being with us in this incredible journey together. Once again, very, very grateful that you've taken your time out to join us for this session this evening. Shivam Mahadevan, thank you Shivam for joining us. Very, very glad that you're here with us. Rushikesh, Hare Krishna, Ravi Talsania, very happy all the way from London. You've joined us. Magnetic Sparrow, thank you for being with us. Umang, so happy you're with us. Ardent Achiever, oh man, thank you for being with us. Mr. Pahadi and Shuvam Tripathi, Rajiv, Varshita Reddy, Sheetal Tiwari, Abhi. Oh, so delighted that you've taken your time out and are with us this evening to be a part of this discussion, which is meant to bring in positivity, which is meant to uplift our spirits, which is meant to bring us hope and give us some pointers, give us some direction on how do we deal with this pandemic and the effect of this pandemic through the power of positivity. Once again, Amar, very, very grateful you're here with us again. Thank you so much for joining us. Shwet Surve, thank you. Pandey, Devashish, very glad that you're with us. Gopal Krishna, Bhala Shrishti, Renu. Oh man, I'm so grateful that all of you have taken your time out to join us this evening. You know what? Teachers are always great at asking questions to their students, isn't it? They always want to give their students some assignments, ask them some questions. A teacher in a classroom once asked like 6-year-old boys. The teacher asked a 6-year-old boy, so which state of India are you from? The boy said, from Maharashtra, madam. The teacher said, and can you spell it for me? After a pause, the boy said, well, I'm from Goa actually. Now, who's going to spell this big word Maharashtra, isn't it? So, teachers always like to ask questions and kids always like to give all kinds of pranky and funny answers, isn't it? But one teacher came into a class of 10-year-olds and the teacher asked the kids a question, gave the kids an assignment. She said, I want all of you to write a sentence. The sentence should have only 10 words, okay? Each word should only have 2 letters. Each word should be a 2-lettered word. And most importantly, the sentence should make sense. It should be meaningful. Now, what are the students going to write? 10 words in a sentence, each word only 2 letters, and it has to be meaningful as well. What are they going to write, right? So the students scratch their head. What are they going to say? To, be, me, he, up. What are they going to say? So the students, as they were trying to figure out what are we going to say, they realized they have no answer to this question. And at that point of time, when they turned to the teacher wrote a line on the board. A sentence with 10 words, each word only 2 letters, a very meaningful sentence which would change the life of all of these kids forever. And this sentence was a quote by the African-American singer late William Johnson. Here is the sentence. She wrote, if it is to be. If it is to be. Ready for the next half, guys? If it is to be. The next half was, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. If I have to change my life, it is up to me. I cannot give the responsibility of how I feel in my life and my transformation to somebody else. अगर आप अपनी जिंदगी में ऊपर उठना चाहते हैं, if it is to be, it is up to me. अपनी जिंदगी को बदलना है तो सबसे पहले खुद को बदलना होगा दोस्तों. And therefore it's so crucial. If we want to change the world, we have no control. The world is not in our control. What's happening in the world is not in our control. But we have one thing in our control. There's the world out there, but there's my world here. My world in my life, my world inside. And if we are willing to change the my world, although we cannot change the world, our experience changes. And not just our experience changes, we're able to add some value to the world that we live in, guys. And therefore it is so crucial to understand that the world is made up of 8 billion my worlds. There are 8 billion people living in this world. And these 8 billion people have their own worlds, their own inner worlds. And thus when we change our inner world, our own world, and when 8 billion such my worlds change, for sure, the world also transforms and changes. And how do we change that inner world? We change that inner world with the right attitude, with positivity. If we are able to work on ourselves inside, the outside world is a reflection of our inside world, guys. And therefore it's crucial that we change our inside world. And it is to this effect that I've been inviting people to come, guests to come and speak, people who've been successful in their own areas, they've had experience. Somebody asked me, why do you have to invite somebody to come and speak? Why don't you speak? I can speak and I can only give you my worldview. But when we invite people who've gone through their life, who've gone through their struggles, who've reached up there, who've done something tangible, isn't it? We can hear their worldview and we can broaden our worldview, learn from their experiences, learn from their wisdom, learn from their journey, learn from their struggles, learn from their relationships. And guess what? Surcharge ourselves internally, positively. And the tagline for our discussion today is, if it is to be, it is up to me. So we've had people from the fitness industry, Rujuta, we've had cricket, Shikhar Dhawan, we had comedy, we had Zakir Khan, we had Nick Santanastesso from America, we had Boman Irani sir, we had Dia Mirza joining us for discussions on environment. And today we have a special guest as well. Someone who actually doesn't need much of an introduction. Someone who at a very early age has achieved tremendous success. Someone who is a social media sensation. Someone who has made an impact in the Bollywood industry. Someone who has gone through life and has learned a lot through life. Someone for whom I guess the lamp of Aladdin has made a lot of difference. I would definitely want to invite Miss Jacqueline Fernandez for our discussion. Jacqueline, if you could kindly comment. I'll just go to quickly have you join right from here rather than searching for you. So we have Miss Jacqueline Fernandez with us this evening for this discussion. And I'm going to just request Jacqueline to join us and begin our conversation for this evening. So just waiting for Jacqueline to come up online and we will continue our discussion. Hello, Jacqueline. Such a pleasure to see you here this evening.
So good to see you, Gaur.
So good to see you
my
as well.
goodness.
Thank you so much for thank you so much for joining us this evening.
No, absolutely. I was so into, your story that like I almost forgot that I had to go live any second.
Oh my goodness.
I was just listening to it. I was like, this is, if it is to be, it is up to you. I was so into it. I was like, he's absolutely right. I started having all these flashbacks. I started having all these thoughts about, like my own dreams and wishes and goals. And oh, that was a great. And then when you started introducing me, I actually got, I was like I've been woken out of a dream or something. Yeah.
But I did say that the lamp of Aladdin made a difference, isn't it?
Yes, it did. Oh my goodness. And what a fairy tale that has also been for me.
Isn't it?
Just this
Indeed.
the whole journey and in the Hindi film industry and coming to India, and like from
Yes.
that first film I did to that, I mean, so that's why your story really does resonate with me a lot, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
how you can take things into your own hands. Very, very,
Sure.
very
Sure.
important for us to be very mindful of that, of the power that we have within
Indeed.
us.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But so grateful and thankful that you've taken your time out to
Yes.
be with this Instagram community and our viewers, so that we could have a discussion and see if they can feel that
Absolutely.
inspiration at the end of what we've been talking. Yeah. But let's begin the conversation for this evening, Jacqueline. And I
And
want to ask you something to
of
begin with.
course.
You know, you come from such a diverse background with like members of your
Yes.
family from such a diverse cultural, social, national, ethnic background. Your father probably is from a European background but settled in Sri Lanka, European descent earlier, right?
Oh, we have some crazy kind of.
Oh, yeah, I think there's a problem with your Wi-Fi connectivity. I'm not able to hear you yet clearly. Uh, no, I'm still not able to get what you're saying, Jacqueline.
Am I there?
Yeah, better now, better. Yes, yes,
Is it better? Okay,
yes.
yeah, I saw that I had paused. Sorry about that. I mean, so
Yeah,
I'm on a farm right now, and
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Wi-Fi it's very moody. And it's so naughty. Like, I swear, like every single time I have some important work to do or something, it decides to just like start playing up. It's like it's teasing me. And then when I'm surfing on the internet and I'm really not, like, I mean, it's not, really not very important things. It's perfect Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So it's a big tease. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, Gorji,
Uh,
I was actually saying how my parents, like you said, that there is a lot of European ancestry. My father also, I mean, being Sri Lankan, he has from his mother's
yeah.
side
Yeah.
Sri Lankan. My mother also has European
Yes.
ancestry, Malaysian, Chinese, and just that
Yes.
whole, Oriental belt. So it's like I almost
And your
sometimes feel
grandfather,
like,
maternal grandfather from Canada, right? Maternal
yes,
grandfather from Canada, right?
yes, yes. And my other maternal grandfather from my sorry, my dad's grandfather actually is from Trivandrum. So, and he had come
Oh, look at
down
that.
to, yeah, I know. So, and
Look at that.
it's so funny, but I sometimes feel like I belong not to a country, but I belong to the world.
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
because apart from having all these nationalities, I've also traveled around quite a bit.
Yes.
And I've experienced
Correct.
so many different cultures, and I've experienced so many different types of people. And where I grew up, which was
Correct.
Bahrain, again, there
Mm-hmm.
was like, I went to an Italian convent school. I was taught by Italian nuns. And then
Wow.
I
Wow.
had so many.
Oh, there's a Wi-Fi issue again. Just getting the Wi-Fi sorted, I guess. Yeah. Oh, the problem with the signal. Yeah, the pro yeah, let's try if we could do something else because I'm just not able to see the video here. Yeah, I think it's better
Hello?
now. Yes, let's see if it
Okay,
continues.
okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, good. Yes. So,
yeah.
okay, there we are. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to the audience as
No
well.
worries, no worries.
Um, so yes, but it was really good because I feel that, as inhabitants of this earth, we should
Hmm.
feel like we are part of everyone and everything on
Sure,
this
sure,
planet. It's
sure.
not We're not just segregated to one, actually.
Correct,
We're
correct.
experienced that growing up.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think coming from such a diverse background again, parents coming from different backgrounds, different nationalities, culturally they were different. You were born and raised in Bahrain of all
Hmm.
places again, and then you went to Australia
Yep.
to study, and you came and settled down in India, and
Yes.
we learned Spanish, learned French, learned Arabic with such a diverse background. My question, Jacqueline, is, you know, what is probably you must have had some experience, some stories, some principles, some anecdote, that upbringing has a lot of influence and impact on who we are. So, so,
Of course.
so there must be something that must have made you who you are. So, would you like to share something, one such memory that you feel was responsible for who you are?
I as a kid, I mean, my upbringing, I'm very, very blessed. I have two beautiful parents, very kind, very compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Mm-hmm.
almost like my father to Jesus, and being a Christian, for me, Jesus is
Wow.
everything. But I like my father. I really do like my father to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
growing up, I was just always in this environment of like doing the right thing, doing what's good,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
being kind to others. Like, there would be
Mm-hmm.
no greater tragedy or no greater way to upset my father or my parents than if we were not nice
Mm-hmm.
to people, if we were rude, or if we had attitude, or
Correct.
if we allowed ego to come in the way. And I think one of my
Mm-hmm.
greatest assets, one of my greatest superpowers, actually, I would call it, is
Mm-hmm.
I grew up never having an ego. None of my siblings did.
Mm.
So
Mm.
no matter what,
Yes.
where we traveled to, or no matter like what we became, no matter who we became or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
we just never carried egos. I never really understood the concept also of an ego, because I think our parents
Mm-hmm.
instilled it in
Mm-hmm.
us so much that like the ego can be the
Mm.
root of
Mm.
so much evil and also so much suffering.
Correct.
And I always get
Mm.
asked this question up until till now, and I remember being asked this as a kid as well, as a teenager. I would
Mm-hmm.
just smile
Mm-hmm.
randomly at people, like anyone. If I saw someone, I would
Mm.
smile, hi, good.
Yes.
Oh, he's because it's
Mm-hmm.
important to always.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you never know whose day you've just made.
Mm. Yeah. Mm.
I think honed over the years,
Correct.
but it's made my life simpler, and it's just made my life happier,
Correct.
no matter what I'm going through.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
struggles will be there, problems will be there, and there are days where I feel
Yes.
like giving up. But somehow I wake up the next morning and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can figure this out. You know what I mean? Like, let's have a laugh about it,
Yes.
let's smile about it, and let's
Yes.
figure this out. So I
Correct.
think, Gorgie, it's
Mm-hmm.
ego. I think one of the
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sure. 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 Yes. Yes. Correct. Thank you. Thank you for that sharing that principle, that aspect, that with your upbringing, it's better than before now. You can't still see your video clearly. We can at least hear you a little better than before though. Can't see you much, you know? Yeah. There's not much clarity in the video, but I think hearing a little better than before. So thank you for sharing that aspect of being raised being raised with, being kind and not Yeah, sure, sure. And not wanting ego to come in between, you know. And I can tell you for sure that even the interaction that we had with you earlier on, I could personally sense that straight away, that sense of genuine humility. So even in that first interaction when we were talking, I could instantly feel that there was a sense of humility, a genuine sense of humility. So yes, indeed, that upbringing has led you to that quality that naturally there is, you know, not allowing the ego to come in the way. So guys, do remember that if we want to make progress in our life and we want to reach somewhere, the one thing that we need to deal with is ego. Like they say, take the E out and let it go, you know. So if you have the ego, just remove the E and let it go.
Absolutely.
Of course, easier said than done, but it's a life's journey. So thank you, Jacqueline, for that input. Uh, my
Thank you.
next question, my next question is like most 14 years old, 14 साल के बच्चे जो होते हैं ना, 14 साल के बच्चों को क्या करना है पता नहीं होता. You know, they're still trying to figure out. 14 साल के बच्चे figure out कर रहे होते हैं कि मुझे क्या करना है. And even if they decide to do something, it's more as a fashion than a passion. Correct? वो जो भी fashionable होता है वो करना चाहते हैं. It's not so much a passion, but a fashion, you know. तो 14 साल के बच्चों को अपनी लाइफ में क्या फिगर करना होता है वो कंफ्यूजन रहता है, डिसाइड नहीं कर पाते. एंड जैकलिन, फॉर यू, when you were just 14 years old, you led and hosted a television show on a channel in Bahrain. 14 साल की उम्र में Jacqueline led a TV show. She was the host for a TV show. Now that's really young. So it seems to me like that probably was your passion. That's something that was your dream. You know, you probably wanted to be a screen personality, maybe a Hollywood actress. You know, lekin back in the day, that time, you know, to want to do something like this wasn't as easy. And parents don't see it as that easy, correct? Because they always want it to be something more settled. So, were your parents with you in this journey? Did they want it to be that way? Did they want you to follow your passion? Did they have any concerns? If they did have any concerns, how did you address it? What did you do? क्या किया आपने? You know? Yeah. Yeah, I think, okay. There's a problem with the internet. Okay.
I'm gonna move this around a little bit. My
Yeah,
connection's
sure.
so bad.
It's a little poor. No worries. We're trying to see if it works.
Gosh, please stay there. Okay. Am I okay? Am I a little bit clearer? I moved
Yeah,
it, but
better
let
than
me.
before. Better. Better.
Okay. 1 second. Maybe if I open a window, I might just
Yeah,
attract more Wi-Fi.
sure. Sure.
Okay. Better, Gorji?
Better, much better now. Much better. Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. So I think your question was about were my parents in support of me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yes, yes, of course. Yes.
Yes. So I've actually been very blessed. My parents, um, they were very, you know, I think they let us be. I think what we
Mm-hmm.
wanted us, what we wanted to be. They never
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
enforced anything,
Sure.
and like they didn't even like influence us
Mm-hmm.
to go in a certain route or a certain track that we might have wanted to go, been on or go
Correct.
on, but like so they kind of just left us to figure that out on our own, and
Mm-hmm.
that was a really beautiful thing because see, I knew from the age of 7
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to be in films. I just knew
Oh.
that I knew I was an entertainer. I knew I was a
Mm-hmm.
performer.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I somehow just knew it. So even from the age of 11, I was like crying and howling because I wanted to like be in fashion shows, and they were like, "You're too
Okay.
young, you know, like you cannot be in a no 11-year-old has ever walked the ramp, you
Sure.
know, like." But on saying that,
Yes.
by the age of like 13, I was making my way out, and also Gorji, it's like, you know, when you're living in Bahrain, it's not easy to actually dream of being an entertainer or a
Correct.
performer. We
Yes.
don't even, we don't have theaters there. We That's not encouraged as something that
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
do. It's not, it's
Mm-hmm.
just not something that you even like think
Correct.
about doing, you know? So, and I would say that
Yes.
would probably be like conservative India as well. Like still there is a film industry here, so there's a great chance that you could become a film actor, but
Yeah.
still it's not encouraged so much because like you said, it's not practical, it's not
Correct.
something very secure, you know, it's not something very settling for parents to hear.
Mm. Mm.
So I just went about doing it. Like I would, you know, make the it was very strange. I would make the contacts myself. I would go
Mm-hmm.
about, I would start earning money from the age of 14 because I would go on these shows, and the only thing
Mm-hmm.
I would need my
Mm-hmm.
parents to do was pick me up and drop me off because I couldn't drive. And there was no public transport. But
Oh
that
wow.
too, I would start figuring out on my own. So I'd be like, okay, wait, who's going to be there? Does someone have a car? Can
Mm-hmm.
someone pick me up? Because I was so sure of what I wanted to do, and this was like a calling
Correct.
that was very, very strong. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, for me, this was the only way. And so I started anchoring shows when
Mm-hmm.
I was 14, and I started doing fashion shows. I started earning my own money. I probably hadn't asked my parents for money like from the age of like 13,
Oh
you know.
wow.
I would help out in the house. I would, you know, like give my siblings money, like if they ever needed it, you know, like I was like their little piggy bank.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was that's just I just knew, Gorgie. It's like it's like how you knew at some point. You know, like you just,
Wow.
it's
Wow.
strong. It's a strong connection, and it just pulls you.
Yes.
It just
Yes.
pulls you.
It's
Yeah.
it's a very strong voice from within. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So, guys, this is again a very important principle that she has shared, that we all have a passion to follow within us. We need to discover our own voice. We need to discover our own journey. We cannot allow our voice to be submerged in the noise of everything around us. You know,
Yes.
मैं कई बार कहता हूँ, उर्दू में एक बहुत अच्छा शेर है. कहते हैं कि समंदर में फना होना किस्मत की कहानी है. Like if you get lost or you drown in the ocean,
That's destiny.
luck, destiny.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
समंदर में फना होना तो किस्मत की कहानी है. दुख तो उन पे होता है जो किनारे पे मर जाते हैं. You know, the pain is for those who don't sail and die on the shores. Guys, we need to sail
Mm.
forth and take that chance to follow our passions. Like they say in English, you know, that ships are very safe at the harbor, but that's not where they're meant to be.
Yes.
You know, they're meant to be
Absolutely.
sailing forth. और अगर sail forth करेंगे तो risks रहेगी, sail forth करेंगे तो failures आएंगी, sail forth
Yeah.
करेंगे तो struggles होगी. And in the middle of all of that struggle, we have to find our voice. And Jacqueline has shared that even at an early age of 14, she had figured that out for her. We may not be as lucky to be able to figure it out so soon, but we must definitely be on the journey, whatever number of years it takes. We must figure out our inner voice and our journey for sure. Now, Jacqueline, I have another question on that. You know,
Yes.
what you said has triggered another question in my mind. You know, when it comes to following your passion, that seems definitely something that will satisfy us. It's important, you know, but at the same time, it's not all that easy for a lot of people, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
like you have to go through so much. Some people get opportunities right away, some don't, correct?
Yes.
Some
Yes.
people have resources, some don't. Some people have a big network, others don't, correct? Some people have a support systems, others don't.
Mm.
Some
Mm.
people, some people can feel that from within, some are yet not able to feel it from within, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then there is realities of life, where there are bills to pay, mortgages to take care of, financial liabilities that youngsters today have. Most people who are watching us are younger people, right? So
Yes.
my question is, if they choose to follow their passion, correct? Now, how long can they continue? कब तक वो अपना पैशन पे काम करते रहे? how long should they be hustling, you know? And okay, we gotta wait for that connection to come back. Oh man, this is yeah. So how long should they be hustling? How long should they be kind of continuing? Until when should they continue? Or when should they give up? You know, that understanding this is not working for me. I need to look for something else. I need to look for
Hmm.
some other break. कि ये नहीं हो रहा है मेरे लिए. ये break काम ये नहीं काम करेगा अभी मैं. I've tried my best. I've given, and there's a confusion, right? थोड़ा confusion होता है कई बार. Like one of my friends, he in the year 2008 when there was a massive recession, he
Hmm.
purchased shares for one company, all the shares practically. Largest
Hmm.
shareholder of the company at 80 rupees per share, correct?
Hmm.
And he waited for 6 years till the year 2014. The share didn't go up by 1 rupee. You know, nothing
Oh
happened.
gosh.
And in the year 2014, he sold all of his shares at the same price of 80 rupees that he purchased it to get back his money. You know? And guess what? In a year later, एक साल बाद, the share price went up to 3,000 rupees per share. Can you imagine? If you would
Wow.
have just waited,
Wow.
if you would have just waited, he would have been a billionaire, correct? He's still a millionaire, but he would have been a billionaire. Now the question is, कब तक रुकेंगे और कब छोड़ देंगे? Even in
See,
passion, until when do
that's,
you hustle and when do you give up? You know?
and that's my thing, Gorji. Like I'm
I am sorry. I think it's just that internet is really, really bad, Jacqueline. It's just really going bad.
I know, I know.
Sorry.
I'm not I'm so sorry. There's someone
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
calling and being very
Some yeah,
irritating.
glitch there. Some glitch. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so basically I am a huge believer in following your calling no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And from
Mm-hmm.
no matter at what age and no matter for how
Mm-hmm.
long. Because I actually
Correct.
feel when you are on that journey of no matter how long it takes, it might take you
Mm-hmm.
years and years and years. But somehow if you're
Correct.
honest and authentic towards that
Yes.
journey, it'll take you maybe in a direction that was
Mm-hmm.
actually meant for you, but it will still at least take you into that direction. Now, it some people say like, you're not being realistic, you're not being sensible, you're not being logical.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely feel like if I wanted to be an actress
G.
from the age of 7, okay, and I first of all don't
Mm-hmm.
believe in anything like I don't think anything can stop you when you want to when the human mind puts puts a thought into something,
Yeah.
or puts a feeling or an
Yeah.
emotion, or when it actually does decide on something, it can achieve anything no matter what. Like for me, my odds were all against me
Yes.
when I was growing up in Bahrain. I had no one support me. Okay, I couldn't even tell anyone I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be an actress because it was a very
Yeah.
weird thing to say. My
Mm-hmm.
parents are simple people.
Correct.
I was not living in a country that had a film industry. I didn't know
Sure.
anyone. I had to
Mm.
travel oceans, okay,
Correct.
to eventually get there. Now, what happened to me was my story also was quite funny. Like I
G.
wanted to always be an actress, okay? When I
Mm-hmm.
came to Sri Lanka, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
thought like, okay, let me get a little bit of experience in television.
Yeah.
So I was on my way. Okay. I still didn't know anyone in films. I got a little bit of
G.
experience in television. Because of
G.
that experience in television, I was given an opportunity to be part of Miss Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, part of Miss Sri Lanka got me to go, participate in the Miss Universe competition. Now,
Correct.
that got me noticed in India, okay, to come and do
Mm-hmm.
some modeling here. The
Mm.
modeling here got me noticed by directors and producers to do films. Now,
Correct.
I was continuously on this journey to become an
Mm.
actress, no matter what obstacles or what was going
G.
against me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. The internet's stuck again. Oh gosh. It's all breaking up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is it okay now?
Yes, better.
Okay, so like I was saying, when you are on that journey of going, and if
Hmm.
you're really honest about your journey, it'll
Hmm. Yeah.
you know, I don't know if you got that last bit. I'm so sorry, but yeah,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you
I
are
think I did hear. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
yeah, if you're genuine towards it, somehow it'll get
Yes.
you where exactly you need to be, you know? So this may
Correct.
have
Correct.
this process.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
Everything that I was doing was, you know, towards it. It eventually got me
Correct.
there. And even even if it
Yes.
meant
Yes.
not becoming an actress, I still feel just being on that path of realizing my dreams and going
Correct.
towards my goals, maybe it would have taken
Hmm.
me in a direction that would have been something that was actually meant for me in a beautiful way that I
Correct.
still would have enjoyed, you know? So
Correct. Correct.
I
Correct.
feel people shouldn't give up on their dreams, on their passions, keep going
Yes.
towards it,
Yes.
because you just never know what path it'll take you on. And it's an adventure. Just, I mean,
Correct.
see it as that as all
Correct.
times, you know. You know,
Yes.
the earth takes care of us. And I know people say like, oh, it's
Hmm.
so easy for you to say, you know, but you got to remember, I started off the same way. And trust
Yes.
me,
Yes.
like the
Yeah.
universe took care of me in many, many ways, in many, many ways. You
Correct.
know, landing up in
Correct.
India, being 19 and landing up in India like alone,
Yeah.
like anything could happen.
Sure. Yes, yes. Thank you for that input. Incredible answer again given. Yes, yes. Oh, sorry, sorry. I thought it was done. Yeah. So thank you very much, Jacqueline, for that input again. It was an amazing answer. I think what she said was very crucial, guys, that every little thing that we invest in our journey, the small thing could lead us to more opportunities. Whether it's doing a little thing, investing a little bit in our journey, a little bit in our passion, is actually leading us to opportunities that could open up larger windows to what we always wanted to do. And
Yes.
it's so important that we are very true to ourselves in following that passion. And one thing that she said was very, very important and crucial, I feel, and really inspirational as well, is that even if that journey didn't lead her to be an actress, it still meant two or three things. Number one, it meant being satisfied and following the passion. You know,
Mm-hmm.
number two, it meant leading a fulfilling life of being very honest and true to oneself. And
Yes.
number three, she said it would automatically also mean that if it didn't lead her to being an actress, it would lead her to being what she was meant to be, but a journey that was going to be based on her passion. So thank you very much, Jacqueline, again for answering that question. हम अभी इस जर्नी में इस कॉन्वर्सेशन में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं and I felt that we would definitely bring in the pandemic and the coronavirus side and all of that stuff, but मैंने सोचा कि पहले इनकी पॉजिटिव जर्नी भी तो समझनी चाहिए ना. वी इनवाइटेड हर एंड इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड हर पॉजिटिव जर्नी. सो एक एक और सवाल मेरा आपसे ये है, जैकलीन,
Mm-hmm.
कि कई बार क्या होता है ना कि यंगस्टर्स जो है, टुडे इज द वर्ल्ड ऑफ सोशल मीडिया, सारी सोशल मीडिया की दुनिया है, पूरा कनेक्टेड है सोशल मीडिया से. यू नो, एंड सोशल मीडिया इज अ ग्रेट टूल टू reach out, to connect, to network, to spread positivity and bring the message of positivity as well. Or social media is also a great tool and a great platform to showcase your talent up there. लेकिन इस सोशल मीडिया के एज में ना, समटाइम्स इट हैपेंस दैट लोग अपने आप के कनेक्शन को भूल जाते हैं, अपने
Mm.
अपने फैमिली से कनेक्शन भूल जाते हैं. दे स्टार्ट लिविंग सो मच इन द वर्चुअल वर्ल्ड दैट दे फॉरगेट द रियल वर्ल्ड. और रियल
Yes.
वर्ल्ड भी कितना जरूरी है. एंड यू आर अ वेरी फैमिली पर्सन, correct? You have
Yes.
great connections and deep relationship with your parents, your brothers and your siblings, and given a chance you would really want to be with them and spend all the time with them. So मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ जैकलिन, हमारे सारे दर्शकों के लिए, हमारी सारी ऑडियंस के लिए, कैसे इसका एक बैलेंस लाया जाए कि सोशल मीडिया पे एक्टिव होते हुए भी how you
Mm.
don't lose touch with yourself and with your real relationships, you know? So how does one balance that? What are your tips for our viewers?
It is important. I mean, like, we have to see balance in life is for everything, and
Sure.
now we have this, we have social media. It was a natural evolution that this was to be created, and now the world
Correct.
is all of a sudden a very digitally savvy, it's a digital era that we're living in right now.
Yes. Yes.
Um, of course, we have to evolve towards that. We cannot be as much as it has its negatives, and we have to be very,
Correct.
very careful that we don't get consumed by it. There are a lot of
Yes.
positives that come with it as well. So, but I mean, just looking at the things that it can, how it can negatively affect us. Yes, it can take us away from real conversations. It can distract us from the
Yes.
things that we need to be doing. Real connections with people, okay, which is also
Mm-hmm.
extremely important. So we have to know that there is a way that, I mean, or figure out a way. And I'm sure now for youngsters as well, it's even more difficult because they were born into this. But
Correct.
they need to, I mean, if they really want to step up in the world, they need to understand that there has to be a way to actually maneuver this. Because people
Correct.
who I think will really be able to work well in this era, in this generation, are the ones who will be able to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
balance the digital side of things and the real side of things, you
Correct.
know. And on the positive side of what we have on social media right now, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. I mean, like, this live chat would not have been possible if we didn't have social media.
Mm.
Connecting with people, it's a different type of a connection, but we're actually
Correct.
connecting with so many people in a
G.
way that I could never have
Yes.
imagined. I would never have
Mm.
imagined connecting, with your Insta family, and
Of
vice
course.
versa,
Of
and
course.
I'm so happy that my Insta family now is being able to, reach you and witness
Sure.
this conversation. So, but on saying that, I think we were very, very blessed that we were able to see Ada. You know what I mean? It's like we were Ada,
Yes.
like, our childhood was
G.
not social media, but now
G.
as adults, yeah, okay, we have social media, but we know the world and what it was before it. Um,
Correct.
I just want the kids out there to understand that this can be a very consuming thing, a very time and energy consuming thing. So be
Correct.
careful that if you really want to step up in the world, you will give
G.
importance to the things that will actually benefit you, that will actually give you
Correct.
a skill set. Now, social
Correct.
media, you may become popular, you may get likes, you may get comments,
Correct.
but it's not going to leave you with a skill set that's going to take you further in life. So make sure you
Yes.
give enough time to develop that, and then be on your
Correct.
social media, because it is also extremely important now for business, okay, and
Yes.
monetization.
Yes.
Please understand that there is an importance there too. When people completely negate it, I'm like, no, don't. Social media is,
G.
it is today, and we always have
Correct.
to be current, so, but at the same
G.
time, remember that it can trap you, and it can leave you nowhere.
Yes.
So,
Correct. Correct.
just, I mean, be smart about it and always maintain a balance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So bringing in that sense of balance, very crucial and very important. Social media is a tool. We are not the tool in the hands of social media. That balance is
Yes.
very crucial, because we could definitely use the social media platform to connect, but if we have nothing to showcase, what are we going to show?
You
If you're
know,
actually going to, yes, yes, please.
yeah. I mean, it's exactly that. I mean, but I want to throw this back at you, like, Gorji, because, you know, um, like, I'm talking about balance here and skill set and, all
Mm-hmm.
of those
Mm-hmm.
things as well. But Gorji, what inspired you and motivated you?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we tend to judge people based on their evaluation, and,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think their standing in work.
Correct.
So there, you left a very, very
Hewlett Packard, that's right.
Packard, Hewlett
Yes.
Packard. You left a
Yes.
job there, and
Mm-hmm.
you went on to become one of, the youngest, like motivational lifestyle coaches,
Hmm.
gurus, and for many people, Gorji, that's a very intimidating thing to leave a
Correct.
very, to leave a comfort zone. I,
Yes.
whenever I think of like of growing as an actor or in my own field,
Hmm.
there are a lot of risks that I need to take. But because I'm,
Correct.
I have a comfort zone in what I do, it's very difficult for me to say, okay, I'm gonna like go do this now. It's a, and the older you get
Yes.
as well, we tend to stop taking those risks.
Yes.
And so you took a drastic one. Like mine is still within
Mm.
my own vicinity. Mine, like my risks are taken within my own, like line of
Correct.
work.
Correct.
You went completely like in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Looking at taking bigger risks in my life, and I think it's really important that we, in this journey of life, we do that. We
Hmm.
challenge ourselves
Hmm.
because that's the only way to grow. But so
Yes.
I really want to know from you what what gave you the strength, what gave you the strength
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
the vision to know that if you left this,
Hmm.
if you left what you had,
Mm.
you would still be okay. The net will
Yeah.
appear and you'll still be safe and you'll still be fine.
Yes.
I'd love to know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was very similar. Thank you, Jacqueline, for that question. I think it was very similar to your journey, but in a very different zone. Like
Mm-hmm.
you were in your own zone, but mine was like a complete change of my path in that sense, from a corporate
Mm-hmm.
job to being who I am today, you know. So I think, well, one reflection I always had was there's a photoshopped image of us and there is a real image of us. So when we have a photoshopped image in a photoshopped kind of a appearance, you know, we look to the world, we are seen by the world in a certain way. Whereas for me, I did not want to just carry on with the photoshopped life. Or is there someone who wants to join in? Okay, sorry.
No, sorry. Sorry,
Yeah, okay.
Guruji.
No, no problem, not a problem. So I think for me it was that I didn't want to carry on with a photoshopped life, which is like I go outside and I show that I'm doing well and I show that I'm happy, I show
Mm,
that I'm satisfied, but I come back home and I look into the mirror and I have a completely different image of mine, that I'm not satisfied with what I'm doing.
yeah,
So I thought I wanted consistency in my life. What the world sees and who I am should be exactly the same. With
yeah.
my
No,
corporate job, I
absolutely.
was doing I was doing well with my corporate job for sure. But it wasn't something that was fulfilling me, wasn't something that was really truly satisfying me that much. I was
Mm-hmm.
good at it, but
Mm-hmm.
wasn't satisfied with it. And then I
Yeah.
thought, hey, the first thing I need to do is to be very honest to myself. If I look at myself in the mirror, I definitely need to be
Oh
very
no.
honest to myself
Yes,
and say,
yes.
okay, here's my calling, here's my passion, here's my path. If I follow this path, there are three things that will happen. Number one, I'll be happy with what I'm doing.
Mm.
Number two, I will reach excellence because I'm following what I'm meant to do, not what I am doing. And number three, if I reach excellence in something, I will be able to contribute a little something to the world.
Mm.
So that shift from a corporate career to what I'm doing was truly meant to be honest to myself that this is me, this is who I am, and this is the life I'm going to lead for three reasons: to be satisfied, to achieve
Mm.
excellence, and to be able to make a difference in our own tiny way in the world that we live in. So that was the journey from corporate to being a monk.
I love that because like I think like for me as well, it is always also about like how are you contributing to this world?
Mm.
I
Yeah,
think about that a lot, and
correct.
how you said for you it was about facing yourself in the mirror. For me, it's
Yes,
it's about, being able to go to sleep at night.
correct,
That
correct.
that is
Same
that is a
principle, the
very
same principle. Yes,
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 it's so important because before I sleep, and this is every single night, I say a prayer and
correct.
I reflect on like, my
Yeah,
day, and I want to know that I've done my best, and I also want to know that I've given back, and
correct.
so I mean, and that, but we all can't go out there, I feel,
Yes.
and and do what you're doing because that was your calling. But how do we, in our own small
Yes.
way, how are we able to give back? Like I would love to think that, as an entertainer, hopefully there are some people that, I am maybe bringing some relief to, or maybe I might be making someone laugh
Yes.
one day, or I might hopefully be adding
Correct.
some positivity to someone's life in some small way. So
Indeed.
I try to see that as my contribution. But
Yes.
I mean, and I people like you, I really am so inspired by, because it really is about, following, like your goals and your passions, because the ones that I feel most bad for are the ones who, you know uh they know what they want but they're not going for it.
Yes.
you know
Yes.
I feel most bad for them, because like the
Correct.
world is your oyster. we
Yes.
if we if we don't realize that, like, I mean, like, when will we have this one life to do that? So you
G.
can I think sometimes people tend to not realize how strong they are, how powerful they are, the power of the
Yes.
mind. So but
Yeah.
thank you for that,
Yeah.
because that has, like, again motivated me to, like, I mean, go on to things that, like, I actually want to be fulfilling later on in my life. Not right now, but like in these next 10 years, there are like other things that I want to be doing. And
Sure.
yeah, so, but Gorgie, right now we are in a very, very, very strange time.
Yes.
As you know, it's like it's something, it's a phenomenon that we've never, I
Yes.
think,
Correct.
been able to witness, or dreamed or imagined us, actually having witnessed. I mean, this is not something, that
Yeah.
comes about like every day, every 10 years, 20 years. It's just, it's unheard of. So,
Yes.
it's a pandemic. There are a lot of people, I think, really struggling with this, with this
Hmm.
idea, with this situation that we have going on here. And there's a lot of people facing a lot of anxiety right now.
Correct.
I do consider myself to be one of, like, the privileged ones, where I'm safe, I'm indoors.
Yes.
That's, I think, a huge privilege right now.
Correct.
Um, but there are people out there who aren't. And, they're probably dealing with people who have caught the virus,
Yes.
who are, they're facing deaths in the family.
Yes.
They're struggling with job losses, all of these things. And, me sitting here right now, being indoors, there are days that I face anxiety, and that's for
Correct.
myself. In a
Yes.
very strange way, I shouldn't be even, like, going there, because, I
Yeah.
I have what I need. But if someone
Yes.
like me can be facing anxiety,
Yes.
there are people who probably have much bigger issues, and I can only
Yeah.
imagine to what extent their anxiety must be. So is there
Correct.
is there any way I mean, is there any, like, tips that you can give us on how to control anxiety? Because this is actually something that I have dealt with, over some
Yes.
years. So is there something that you can tell us about anxiety?
Yeah. Thank you for that very pertinent question that you brought up, Jacqueline. Uh, and firstly, right, like you rightly said, we are very grateful to have what we have. We are
Yeah.
sheltered. We have food to eat. Many of us still have some. Many in the world have financial stability. So we are grateful. There are people who don't have these things,
Yes.
and there are
Yeah.
people who are affected by the corona pandemic very badly as well. So of course,
Yeah.
our empathy and our support and our prayer is with them. We definitely need to be sensitive to their needs as well. Uh,
Yes.
at the same time, we also need to brace ourselves with the ability to deal with that anxiety. Anxiety is a part of life. We are human beings. As
Mm-hmm.
much as we try to remain positive, we get affected. I always
Mm-hmm.
say that to be negatively affected is normal. To stay negatively affected is abnormal. You know, we can't remain in that state. We go through that state. There's going to be ups and downs. So when we feel that, it's fine. We're human beings. But to
Hmm.
remain in that state is what creates a lot of mental instability and mental health issues, you know. So here's
Yeah.
what I usually try to tell people, that I feel life can also be put in the form of an equation, and life has two components to it. One is the constants, and the other is the variables. Constants are those things that we cannot change. You know, we have no control over. There are going to be certain things that we absolutely have no control over. They are completely beyond our scope. Like for instance, the coronavirus. We have no control over the coronavirus. We have no control over what's happening around us. So these are the constants, and we cannot change them. But then we also have the variables. And those variables are things that we can do. The more we focus on what we cannot do, we are depressed, we are anxious, we are negatively affected. And the more we focus on what we can do, our mind is filled with positivity, our mind is filled with confidence, our mind is filled with hope. So there is a great need to constantly keep moving our attention from constants to the variables. The more we are
Yeah.
constant focused, we're going to be negative. The more we are
Yeah.
variables focused, we're going to be positive. And what are the variables? I think the three variables I would point out to be remain positive during this pandemic. Number one is ourselves. We need to work on our own
Mm.
selves, whether it's our physical fitness, whether it's our mental focus, whether it's our health, whether it's our connection to our own deeper self, whether it's unwinding, whether it's getting that sense
Yes.
of mental stability. We need to work on ourselves. That's a variable. Let's do it. We can't change anything outside. Let's change inside. Correct? The second variable, I think that's also very crucial that we need to work on is our relationships. At this point of time, we
Mm.
can connect to people whom we are very close to because it's with their support that we can handle anxiety. खुद से जब ये
Mm.
एंजाइटी संभलती नहीं है ना, तो जब सपोर्ट करने के लिए कोई होता है तो एक की जगह दो कंधे हो जाते हैं. you know Instead of shouldering it my own with alone, I have someone else with whom I can shoulder that anxiety. So
Mm.
relationships is also very important and crucial because then that gives us that support. And third aspect I feel is spirituality, mindfulness, gratitude, because then we are shifting our attention to our blessings. अगर हम केवल
Yes.
अपने कर्सेस पे ध्यान देते रहेंगे, there is no way that we will be able to remain and stay positive. But if we move our attention to our blessings and practice gratitude, that we have a shelter, we have food to eat, it's a variable. So I think if we work on the variables, which is our own self, our relationships, and our spirituality, mindfulness, and gratitude, we are then braced with and we are equipped with the ability to fight the pandemic. But I must say that this has been an interesting conversation. We're just coming to the close of our Instagram only allows us an hour's live session, Jacqueline. So I have to wind the conversation up for this evening and really, really say a heartfelt thank you. I'm so grateful to you for taking your time out, your valuable time out, and being with us here this evening for this Instagram live session. Unfortunately, due to a few technical glitches, we were going on and off. But in the middle of all of that, whatever we did kind of receive is a take home message for all of us. But to all of you, our Insta community, I want to share this one thing. Our tagline for this evening is if it is to be, it is up to me. We are not going to be able to change our lives unless we take the control and the charge of our life to our own self. So do remember this one line, put it up on your phones, put it up in your rooms. If it is to be, it is up to me. And if it is up to me, let's shift our attention from the constants to the variables. And we heard beautiful inputs from Jacqueline from her own life of how we could go about in terms of following our passion, in terms of being on social media, but still connecting to our family, still connecting to what we should be doing in our lives. We also heard from her the important, crucial aspect of never giving up on our dreams. So we're very grateful, Jacqueline, that you took out your time and were with us this evening. मैं आप सबका भी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ कि आप सब आज यहाँ इस इंस्टा लाइव सेशन में शामिल हुए. Thank you all very much and wish you a great evening. Thank you, Jacqueline, again. I'm seeing you. There was again an interruption in the connection, not able to see the video, not able to listen to you. But wish you all a great
I
evening ahead and thank you all very, very much.
Yes,
Thank you.
I
Thank you again,
just got
Jacqueline.
back.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Gorji.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
know the connection was
Thank you.
very,
Bye.
very
Bye.
bad.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going up and down,
But
but
yes,
no,
I
no
think we can
worries.
leave
Thank
it
you.
here. I think we
Yes.
can leave it here. But lovely
Sure.
connecting with you and wish
Pleasure.
everyone safety and wish everyone strength during this time. I mean, lots of love and spread that positivity. And Gorji, thank you so much for having me on your live today as
Thank
well.
you.
It was
Thank
lovely
you.
talking to you. Thank you so much
Pleasure
for
and honor.
inspiring us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.